Abundance flow into your life, overflowing you with opportunities, prosperity in every endeavor. I declare divine favor.
Yes, you don't want to miss out on It's Time to Stop Hurting taking place this Sunday at 11:15 a.m. Service begins at 11 a.m. Don't miss out on it. Yes, it's featuring your keynote speaker, Archbishop Jonathan Wayne Manning. Stay tuned. Join us on YouTube and Facebook at Omega Radio. Coming your way, it's Creative Space with Catherine Shapiro right here, a proud sponsor of Omega Radio.
Meet me there.
From all the pain, the so ashamed. I am beautiful, beautiful.
Tune in and listen. Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Your host, Catherine Shapiro. Good morning, everybody out there in Omega Radio land. We wish you the best and the safest day possible. And today we are in the Creative Space with a special guest, Mark Gilvey. He is a wonderful product photographer and a terrific videographer and an expert in an area which I am not an expert at all. So we want to bring our artists some of the great services and terrific things that make their business better. And Mark is one of those people. Hi, Mark. How are you doing today?
Okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Now all of a sudden I can hear you perfect as a clear day.
Fabulous. It is amazing, the long distances we cover. You are where again?
I'm in Northern Virginia in an area called Woodbridge.
That is fabulous. I love Virginia and have been there several times. Tell me a little bit about your business in photography and what you do.
I am a commercial photographer, so I work business to business. I photograph products, services, events, corporate events.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no weddings, no families, no fuzzy friends.
It's funny. This is actually part 2 of a series we're doing in photography. And photography has a huge history in the arts. And we are so glad to have you here today. Now, there is a huge area here where people need photographs for all kinds of business applications. Can you maybe describe some of those?
A business, a small business, needs photos of their products and their services. They may also need staff photos or photos of the leadership team. Mm-hmm. They might need photos of their building structure, their location, so people know what it looks like when they're looking for it, or just to show how wonderful it is and, what a wonderful place it might be to work. Some businesses need historical artifacts recorded for their archive. That's kind of an area that no one even thinks about, because we all think at the front end of the thing, but the back end, there's a history to your company, and there are related things, objects, people, whatever, that you might want to document.
Like in museums, perhaps, maybe?
Well, no, you document it for your own company history. Let's say you wanted to do a book about your company.
I see. Okay.
That kind of stuff is important. And a lot of companies might have super old panoramic photos of a big convention meeting that are really, really faded. So, I can restore those.
That is fabulous. I remember.
Or they have pins, like the little military pins or something that might have significance to their business. And they want to record those so that they can publish who knows what.
So what's the biggest challenge that you face in situations like these?
Getting work.
I hear you. I do. Well, that is one of the reasons we are here. And if people want to go somewhere to find any further information about you, where's the best place they can go?
My website. It's I'll spell it out here. M as in Mark. GCRE, the number 8. V as in Victor. It looks like MG Creative.
Fabulous.
It fits on a license plate.
Well, it's funny how these things get started. How did you decide to become a photographer in the first place? Was it a lucky
started
shot?
when I was in middle school or high school. So that was back in the 1970s. That I just got interested. I wanted to find. Here you go. There are 2 stories. The first one is that I got interested in sports car racing after watching a movie called Le Mans, which had Steve McQueen in it.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad, he bundled me up and we went off to the sports car races in Palm Beach. We used to live in Miami back then.
Got you.
And so then we became corner workers, and my little 110 I had, or I think I had even an older camera that had a bellows on it, wasn't really working out very well. So I saved all my money to buy my first single lens reflex camera, and I haven't been able to save a dime since.
I know the feeling. I tell you what, it's amazing. What's that feel like when your very first photograph comes out exactly the way you would want it to be?
Oh, that's pretty unique. That definitely raises the spirit and makes you want to do more of it. You know, it's just because it's just it's what you put into it and what you wanted. Both things hit the mark. It might not be what somebody else wants.
I hear you.
But it's like a photographer I know always said that abstracts, really the only person who likes them is the person who created them. You know, everybody else has to find something of themselves in it.
Oh, so that's the trick. You find something of yourself.
Yeah, and their story might be different. So, I see we have a couple of pictures here from the website.
Yes, we sure do.
So, yeah, I like to photograph food, and I do that for a magazine here in Prince William County.
Mm-hmm.
That's always a tasty and a lot of fun and a lot of discipline, because when I photograph a restaurant, I'm doing product photography. I photograph the business owner, the chef. I photograph the interior. Maybe I photograph staff, but you have to be quite versatile to be able to photograph a restaurant.
It sounds like it. Do you ever get hungry? Just curious.
Oh, yes. Well, there's fringe benefits.
Oh, for sure.
Shoot. I get to take stuff home with me.
I hear you.
No, don't throw that away. I'll take it home. I'll get it out of your hair.
Absolutely.
I will save you the trouble of having to get rid of it.
Definitely. Well, what is the most, how did you sort of get onto these particular subjects? Was there anybody who got you started in this particular area?
Well, let's see. How did it go? I told you that I got into photography because of the movie. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do special effects, and that was after seeing Star Wars.
Oh, well, yeah, of course.
I wanted to get into special effects then. So that pushed me into, back in the 80s, we did slideshows, multi-projector slideshows for conventions and conferences and speaker support and all that kind of stuff, that animated. Well, I ended up working on the same type of camera, actually almost the same model that they used to put Star Wars together.
Awesome.
It was what's called an optical printer. Mm-hmm. And that then, being in the creative industry, you find yourself having to reinvent yourself a lot.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, when times get tough, the creative staff are almost the first ones to get sacked. So
And that is very true. So when things like this happen, how do you turn it around? And you say to yourself, that's the trick, isn't it?
yeah, that is a trick, but it's not a trick because I used to think it was a trick because you just keep doing something and something would eventually find what you're doing and match you up and figure it out. Only recently did I realize that's law of attraction.
Okay.
And so I understand the science behind it and the spiritualism behind it now. So I'm not as grumpy.
It does get frustrating sometimes.
Yes, it does. It gets extremely frustrating. So I just know that our higher ups are looking out for us and they're sending us back whatever it is we send out. So I'm trying to keep my head on right and keep a smile on my face. And I got my wonderful wife to help me with that too.
Well, great shout out to her. I tell you what, we would not be doing what we do except for our families who support us.
Yep.
That is the truth.
I've always said behind every really great man is an even stronger woman.
That's the truth. At least I would hope so in my husband's case anyway. So I'm curious, what would you say to somebody just starting out?
Soak it up like a sponge. Learn, learn, learn. Notice I didn't say buy gear, buy gear, buy gear, because that's what everyone tends to do is, if I only had a better camera, I could get that type of shot. No, because taking the picture is just putting a nail into a piece of wood. That's all it is now.
Mm-hmm.
What you do with it afterwards is where the artistry can be or it cannot be if you don't understand that it can be there.
Absolutely. How many pictures do you take before you find that right one?
Not many, because I have a great deal of experience in processing photographs.
Mm-hmm.
So if I capture something and I know I got my lighting, composition, and impact. If I have at least those three things, and I have to have all three, not two of them. If I have all those three things in camera, what I do on the other side is going to make it look even better.
And so you know what you got from the get-go.
Yeah,
that
I
is
don't
really interesting.
really rely on shooting a ton of photos,
Mm-hmm.
but you're going to end up doing that, especially if you're shooting events. You'll end up shooting lots and lots and lots, and that's kind of production then at that point.
And of course, we are just about at 3 minutes for our show in regards to time. And
Okay.
I wanted you to say the last great thing that you would like everybody else to know that you're really excited about right now.
Okay. All right. Well, dive into your work. Immerse yourself in it. Become it. Breathe it. My dad always said you have to want something so bad you can taste it. And he's absolutely right.
Absolutely.
And follow your passion, and keep following your passion. It's been very difficult for me to stay in photography watching all the people I went to photography school with get out of it or got dropped out of it. So keep pushing. Don't give in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, because it's the persistence and the that stick-to-itiveness that'll eventually get you where you want to go, and you never know when it's going to happen.
That's right. That's right.
Sometimes it's a detour, sometimes it's a person you never thought of. And speaking of people that are never thought of, we love to give our shout-outs to the behind-the-scenes friends at the engineering desk over there, Minister Aparna, and all the wonderful staff here at Omega Radio who have got us in touch with our terrific guest, Mark Gilvey. Fabulous fabulous photographer. And what we will do is we'll include all of this information on my Facebook page, on the Omega Radio's comment section, and you can find it a little bit later when we come out on YouTube. So everybody in Jamaica, my condolences, my kindnesses. I hope y'all are safe. If you're artists, please keep in touch. Let us know how you're doing if you can and it's safe. Thank you, Mark, for visiting us today. We really, really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. This is Catherine Shapiro with her terrific friend Mark Gilvey, amazing photographer in the creative space. We are here every Wednesday at 11 a.m., rain or shine. Come join us, and in the meantime, please be kind to each other.
From all the pain, I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, beautiful.
Tune in and listen. Creative Space on Omega Radio every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Your host, Catherine Shapiro.
Do the very best in gospel music 24/7 right here on Omega Radio.